Sometimes statement may not be clear, but there is always a deeper understanding. It is not just about the who said what. The whens, hows, and wheres are equally important. Join me on a whole new journey in the conversation with Augustus as I bring you discussions from religion to politics, health to economy, humanity to social activities, among many others. Conversation with Augustus knows no foreign borders. The show comes to you every Wednesday at 6:15 p.m. GMT on our YouTube channel Conversation with Augustus and on Radio Angelus www.radioangelus.com. This program is sponsored by Safe Life Experience Consult Limited. Contact them for all your travel and tour needs, as well as your events. Welcome to Conversation with Augustus. I hope and trust that you are doing well. Today we are talking about entrepreneurship. But before we dive into our conversation for today, kindly please subscribe to this channel and click on the bell beside the subscribe button so that whenever we post new videos, you can have access to you. This program comes to you this and every Wednesday at 18:50 GMT on our YouTube channel, Conversation with Augustus, and also on Radio Angelus, www.radioangelus.com. Please tell a friend to tell a friend and share this video with your friends. Today we are talking about entrepreneurship. My guest has been an entrepreneur for close to 10 years now. He started with graphic design and later on dived into baking and making foods. I met him in 2016 when we all embarked on World Youth Day pilgrimage to Poland. When other youth were buying stuff like sacramentals and clothes, he was buying books, cake books to be precise. So I went closer to him and I asked, why cake books? He said, I love to cook. And truly he did. I remember on the journey, one of our colleagues, Augustus, was celebrating his birthday. And this gentleman had already prepared a birthday cake for him. We all ate the cake and we all enjoyed it. I also remember I had an interview with him back in Ghana on Radio Angelus, and he brought me 6 pieces of cake. I can't forget that. He is my guest for today, Francisco Akpenu Kofi. Francis, you're most welcome to the Conversation with Augustus.
Thank you, Mr. Akins. It's
How
been
are
a
you
long
doing?
time.
Very
I'm
true.
good.
Very true.
I'm good.
So for close to 10 years, you've been in the entrepreneurship aspect of life. But before we dive into that,
Yeah.
I would want to find out from you, first of all, who is Francisco Akpenu Kofi?
All right, Francisco Akpenu Kofi is a young Ghanaian, exuberant, with so much energy, who believes in himself. And I come from a family of 6, 4 sisters, and we are only 2 guys. I'm the last born. And God willing, I got married last year. And I got married to one beautiful woman called Dr. Makafu Tavia, who is a lecturer at TED, a scholar in Islamic religion and Christian faith. Francisco has always been a graphic designer, but growing up, I just want to say I thank my mom, because my mom is an Ewe, and we Ewes, when you have a male son at home, it is a must that that child should be able to prepare certain basic foods at home. So my mom was then a kinky seller, then later came to Christ the King, with their canteen to help them start preparing good meals for the students. So I've always seen myself in the kitchen, but I never saw myself coming into the baking field. And I'm a Catholic and a chorister. I'm in the main choir of the cathedral. I sing tenor. My mom is also a chorister. So basically, this is who I am. I'm 24 years. I'll be 24 this October. So basically,
24 or 24
that
years?
describes. I'll be 24.
24.
Hey, 34. Sorry. I'll be 34 years. I just want to reduce my age.
Okay. That is Francis. I'm 34 years old and he's married to an Islamic and Christian scholar who lectures at the Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Tech, to be precise, in Kumasi, Ghana. So, Francis, first of all, your mother was an inspiration, or what's the source of inspiration for you? But you never thought you were going to actually end up in the kitchen.
In the kitchen? No.
What made you, in fact, end up in the kitchen?
All right. So what made me end up in the kitchen is that 6 years back, I was dating a young woman called Nana Mamrikria Konsa, who was more into confectionery work. She was then a student. So dating her, I found out that we all have certain basic things in common. She loves to cook. I also love to cook. She loves to bake. I don't know how to bake. But dating her, I told myself that I don't want to go into a relationship where I'll be spending so much. I should rather find a way of helping my partner to be independent. So then we have then traveled to Brazil for my first award, which I won by designing the logo for the Catholic Church. So when I was there, I then had a company called Bold Element, which is the graphic firm. When I came back, I told her that, okay, I want to establish a company for her where we will start the confectionery business so that I will invest every money I've made from Bold Element to make cake elements come to the same level with Bold Element. So we started. Then whenever she's baking, I'm in the kitchen helping her clean the cake pans and stuff. So within a short period of time, I was able to know how to bake, how to do some few things, even though the confidence level wasn't there. So 2 years, 6 months, then she passed on to her creator. So when she passed on, amen. So when she passed on to her creator, I wanted to close the business because this is somebody I was working with that I seriously knew that if I am not there, she's there to do one of the things. But now she's no more. What am I going to do? So before then, I've then asked my nephew to come back from Kumasi to be with me and let's take care of the business. So I started investing every penny I get. So in 2016, you and I traveled. We were on a tour to Dubai, we went to Italy, Panama, Poland, we drove through Austria and the rest. And you could quite remember that most of the money I had on me, I was buying cake books. I needed things that would make the business better for me. But the beautiful thing is that I had some of the books, some I did not. So when I came back to Ghana, I realized I never had any education in baking. So the only weapon I had at that moment was to use the books I have bought to educate myself and apply the skills as a graphic designer to enhance my beautiful cakes and make them what today people are seeing as a classic and a very sweet, appetizing or appealing cake to their eyes. So that is where the motivation all started from. My mom being the founder, then my late girlfriend, who also became an inspiration because majority of the ideas came from her, and I was investing my resources, my time, and everything into it. So basically, that is where the inspiration came.
Okay. The program is Conversation with Augustus, and today we are talking about entrepreneurship and looking at one of our young Catholic guys back in Ghana making wonders. In fact, he's making miracles. He's making people's wedding as you can see, and it's wow. And whenever I look at his videos, in fact, when he goes to people's wedding, he even does more than the couple himself, and he even does better.
You are very right. That one is very important. It's very necessary. You
It's
have to
very,
yeah, it's
and
very necessary.
he makes one of the best cakes in Ghana, in fact. And he's in the person of Francisco Akpenu Kofi. He's our guest for tonight, and we are talking about entrepreneurship. So, Francis, you started with your mother was the inspiration to Nanama, who is now with a maker, and then now you're doing this with who? So, if you can tell us your type of entrepreneurship, what is it? Is it the couple type of entrepreneurship or what?
Okay, I'm very happy you are asking this question, and I will take it from the educational field, then we come to the proper entrepreneurial field. When we were back in school in Takadepoli, we studied a course called couple entrepreneurship. And it is where two partners come together to do business. Meaning that somebody brings about 50% of the money, another person brings about 50, or some brings 70, 30, depending on the availability of the funds. Corporate entrepreneurship is very good, but there is a major risk when it comes to corporate entrepreneurship, where in case there's a divorce in the process, the splitting of the money becomes a problem. And let's cast our mind back. Just yesterday, we heard Bill Gates and the wife are calling for divorce.
Yeah, 27 years of marriage and
27 years of marriage, and you are just throwing it away. Yeah. So it comes back to our conversation today that when you are venturing into corporate entrepreneurship, are you looking at the short term and the long term? You're looking at the long term. What are the methods or risk factors? Have you asked yourself before going to them? If you've not asked yourself such questions, and you're only looking at it as the basis of giving you revenues to buy the cars, give you the house, give you the kind of luxury you need, then you are failing as a business person who is practicing corporate entrepreneurship. But if you're looking at it as a long-term investment, where you are ready for the temptations, the back and forth, the ups and downs, then you are prepared for it. So when you get to the stage like Bill Gates and the wife, when you are going to split, you know how much the business is worth. So splitting it 50-50, nobody is losing. Splitting it maybe 70-30, you understand why the couple are agreeing to such a percentage. So with my style of business, I started with a couple entrepreneurship where I was in a relationship. But along the road, she passed on. There were other back and forth that came when she died, where the families came in and were like, hey, the business is for their daughter. So as a Christian and as a Catholic, I chose life. So I gave everything that they wanted so that I would start a business from the scratch. These are the challenges I faced growing my business.
Because I was actually going to hit you with that question that after she passed on, what happened? Did you take everything or you did what?
Oh yes, yes. They took the oven away. They took the cylinder. Eventually, they took majority of the things that could have made me come back on my feet as a business person. So at that moment, they didn't want to bury her. I have to bury her. I have to do eventually everything. I quite remember I spoke to Father Michael Mensah about this. He has a bit of knowledge of this conversation, and he told me God is with me. So I went back to start everything from scratch. I went back to from let's say 200,000 Ghana cedis to 250 Ghana cedis in my account. That is as low as I was able to come when she passed on. Wow. Because I have to spend money doing a whole lot of things. But something kept me going, which was faith. I had passion as a graphic designer, but I said I borrowed that passion as a graphic designer to incorporate it into my baking field, my confectionery business. So business started coming from Kumasi. I have to travel to Kumasi to do wedding cakes and stuff. So I started as a couple entrepreneur, but it didn't end today as the way I wanted. So now the corporate entrepreneurship couldn't work. And today I'm, let me use the word, a sole proprietorship, where I'm solely doing the business alone. But I have workers who are working under me, which I'm paying their salaries, paying their SNAs, and a few bonuses that they get and stuff. So with my style, it's more of sole proprietorship, where in the future we'll be entering into limited liabilities and looking at people buying
Shares,
equity
okay.
and shares into the company.
That's very interesting. So how many workers do you have with you at the moment?
Okay, currently I have 3 workers, including myself, making 4, and I have 4 students who are learning under me, who I'm training them.
Okay, so well, this is it. So even though it's a business, it's you still have students you train.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
and to say that I remember that fateful day, for lack of better words to describe this, we were all at a wedding of one of our pre-mate colleagues, and the sad news actually happened. We were there, and then
Yes.
we remember, and I remember
Cosmos. It was Cosmos and
Cosmos had
Cosmos
to
and yes,
drive you to the hospital because she was sick then, and we will still continue to pray for Hanama wherever she is, that God would grant her soul a peaceful rest. Because if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have this beautiful cake that we enjoy. And I hope very soon you would start posting some of the cake to me.
Oh yeah, we bring some to Italy.
You need to, yeah. I'm with. So you made mention of something. You stated that now Takwari University, Technical University.
Yes, please.
Then it was Takwari Polytechnic.
Yeah.
You did graphic design there.
Yeah.
And then you came out as a graphic designer, professional graphic designer.
Yes.
You learned cake. So how were you able to infuse the graphic design aspect of things into your cake making?
So this is a very tricky question, but it has a very sweet way of answering it, which is that anybody who wants to become a graphic designer should have a passion as an independent person. If you don't have a passion into what you are going into, it means that you are going into a profession where you are going to fail. But if you have the desire for color, you understand color, you understand the principles and elements of design, which is line, dot, dominance, rhythm, and everything. These are tools we graphic designers use. And when you come to the confectionery business, it's not only about mixing eggs and flour and the essence and just doing the cake. It also comes back to your creative ideas. How you come up with such a beautiful cake that somebody will look at a cake and say, yes, it is worth having this cake on my wedding day, on my anniversary day, on my birthday. So I bring my graphic designing skills where I bring the principles and elements of design to make my cake look very unique, very different. So I chose the pattern of simplicity where I don't do too much drama on my cakes. I keep it as simple, as classy as it has to be. Because if it's not simple and it's not classy, you wouldn't attract or draw traffic to your business.
Yeah.
And since we started doing that, in the initial stages, we were just doing what everybody was doing. But it got to a point, I said, no, I have a style of designing my logos. Why won't I use the same tricks and same techniques in designing my cakes so that I will have a signature? For instance, when you look at Benz, it has a signature. When you look at VW, it has a signature.
Yeah.
When you look at Toyota and the rest of the cars that are coming, they have a signature. So I should be identified with a certain signature that will draw traffic to me. And I think that is what we have been able to do for this period of time. It wasn't easy though, because you need to convince your client to buy into your ideas so that these works will come out well to please the audience who are coming. And most cases, we don't design the cake only for the bride and the groom. We are also looking at the guests who are also coming because they are your market. When it's beautiful, it tastes good, we win a client there. So it's not only for the bride and groom. I'm also targeting the guests who are coming to the wedding and the party too as well.
Typical so business-minded person. Using one stone to kill as many as possible.
That is it. As many people you can win. Yes. Yes.
And that's it. So you made mention of startup. When Nanama died, everything had to just fall. So let's talk about finances. So
finances.
Starting a business, what do you think? Because there's this is it philosophy also? Some will say that if you're starting a business, don't go for loan from the bank. ask friends, ask family members to help you. Some also say that it may depend on the kind of business you want to start. You can also go for loan. For you, how did you start it? How was a startup like for you?
Okay, so starting my business, if I could quite remember, a lot of people didn't believe in me. I'll be honest with you. There are a few people who believed in me, but I was looking at it from the friendship aspect. Because family, I quite remember when I had my first admission, my cousins wanted me to go and do business administration. I told them, listen, me, everything about me is art. I sleep art, I drink art, I wear art. So I'm going to do art. So when it came to the graphic designing, my first major contract I had was with St. Joseph Catholic Church at Adabraka. I think there's who was 90 years or 80 years, one of them. Then I was asked to design a banner. So when I designed the banner, the profit I made from that whole work was about, I think, 1,000 cedis profits I made. Yes, that was, if I could remember, 11 years ago.
And even today, 1,000 cedis is still huge.
Yeah, today, 1,000 cedis is money. And guess what I did? Instead of going to invest that money, the first thing I did was to walk into Movenpick. But then Movenpick has come fresh. I walked into Movenpick. You are laughing. I walked into Movenpick, booked the room, had a night and drank wine. Then I think I spent approximately close to 600 or 700. Just I spent a night. I went there in the evening and came back the following day. And trust me, when I came back, I picked pen and paper and I asked myself a few questions. What did I achieve? When I slept in Movenpick, did I add value to the money or the money got finished? I couldn't give myself a very solid answer. So I walked to Data Bank with the rest of the money. And I said, okay, I'm opening treasury bill. So my first major investment I did in my life was to buy treasury bill Data Bank. So with time, I started having jobs and revenue started coming. Then I started saving, putting some somewhere. And these are the same money I was using to recycle my business. So when I started Cake Element, Gold Element was the backbone of Cake Element. So any money I make from Cake Element, I reinvest it back into Cake Element. That is where I buy machines, buy that, and do that. But my first major contract I had as a Cake Element was one of my cousin's wedding. But then I think we have come back from Poland. They had then come back from Poland. Then I used that money to buy my first major cake mixing machine. Okay. Then I came back. I started recycling the same money again. But still, it wasn't easy because at that time, my fiancé was sick. So every money you were making, you were still going back to hospital bills, doing MRI scan, a whole lot of the revenue was going there. But one of the things that kept me going was my auntie's 80th birthday, where they said I should charge. And I said, okay, I will sell the cake to you at 1,006. So my family was the first people who bought a birthday cake at 1,006. And the first wedding cake I did for one of my cousins also cost 1,000 cedis at that time. So that was the first major money I had as a young entrepreneur who has ventured into a confectionery business, which is cake making as a baker. So finances was not available. Let me say, family giving you money to buy machines or invest it into it because you are still paying rent, paying light bill, water bill. You are doing a whole lot. So I would say I started pushing birthday cakes to my friends. They started buying into it there and then. Friends started telling friends. And I always make sure that when I had opportunity at your birthday party, I will tell you that I sell cake. So it got to a point, I started doing cakes, sending it to banks, giving it to friends for them to eat my cake and see, hey, this is unique. Then they will start buying cakes. So that was how I was able to push myself to start recycling the little resources I had. You made mention of family. Some businesses, you may need family to support you, depending on the type of capital you are looking at. If you're entering into food, you might need a few capital from family, which easily get. When you're looking at going to constructions and stuff, family cannot. You have to go resort to loans, go to the bank. But starting my business, I told myself, a bank is a no-no for me. I will never take a loan from the bank because I don't know how to pay. I don't know how to be chasing a bank chasing or even friends. I've never taken a loan from a friend before. Growing up, I will prefer to loan you, but for me to come and ask you for a loan, I will not do it. So I've never taken a loan to run my business up to date. The banks still come. They said, "Oh, my business is good. They can give me money to expand." I said, "Kakra, small, we'll get there." I believe in humble beginnings, and I think it has brought me far. Today, Cake Element has become a Ghanaian known professional business where people want to affiliate themselves. So when it comes to loans, I don't go into loans. So I would say I recycle the revenues I had from the past. It's the same, and I was not looking at paying myself. Up to now, I don't pay myself. The only thing I give myself is a few money to pay my bills and take care of myself and pull the car and go for a few meetings. So when it comes to finances, this is how I started and where it has brought me today.
Thank you so much, Francis. But before we continue the conversation, I would want to chip in this. There is an urgent appeal for a donor. There is a priest in the Catholic Archdiocese of Accra who is actually suffering from kidney failure. And we are pleading with anyone who wants to assist to donate a kidney to assist this priest. Kindly look at call this number. If you're outside, if you're out of Ghana, please start with +233 54 51 89 905. +233 54 51 89905. The owner of the number is Very Reverend Father Raymond Osei. He is the Chancellor for the Catholic Archdiocese of Accra. If you know anyone who can assist in donating a kidney, or if you are watching and you want to donate a kidney to a brother priest who is actually helping, he's actually helped from Tema in schools. He's done so much for God and for our country and for our archdiocese, and he is in dire need of a kidney because both of his kidneys are not in good condition, and we are pleading with anyone out there who wants to help. And also, if you are a blood type A or O, we would also need you to assist. You can also call the same number, +233 54 51 89 905. The owner of the number is Very Reverend Father Raymond Osei, who happens to be the Chancellor for the Catholic Archdiocese of Accra. The program is Conversation with Augustus, and today we are talking about entrepreneurship, and my guest is Francisco Akpenu Kofi, the founder of Cake Elements, and we are actually talking about his business. He's actually giving us an insight as to how he started his business. Kindly subscribe to this channel, click on the subscribe button, click on the bell so that whenever we post new videos, you can have access to it. This program comes to you live on Radio Angelus, www.radioangelus.com. And my name is Augustus Akins. We are talking about entrepreneurship. And my guest is, as I mentioned earlier on, Francisco Akpenu Kofi. But Francis, I would also want to find out from you. Your story is very interesting and very educative. What kind of attitude should one have if the person wants to be an entrepreneur? What's the right attitude, if there is anything like an attitude?
There is always an attitude. The attitude is, do not look for money. Let the money change. A lot of Ghanaian entrepreneurs, when they start a business today, they want to see money in the, let's say they start in January, by March, April, June, they want to see money. It doesn't work like that in the entrepreneurial field. The entrepreneurial field, you need to be very disciplined. Disciplined in the sense that you should have an attitude where you don't buy expensive phones when you have a business to run. You don't buy expensive clothes, perfumes. You don't go to expensive places where you cannot afford or sustain that kind of luxury. I told you my first trial was to sleep at Movenpick. I failed. I failed because it is not my lifestyle. I cannot live like the gate, like the despite, like the rich people we see in society. I needed to understand the business I wanted. So I chose the attitude of discipline. When I have 2 cedis, I appreciate it. If I have 500, I appreciate it. So I started building my finances based on availability of the funds that were coming and the profit margins that I was making. A lot of Ghanaian entrepreneurs are not truthful in the sense that as a baker, when you come to me and my hands are full and I can't do so much, I will tell you I'm fully booked. I can recommend a few bakers to you. Some people don't understand when we say we are fully booked. They assume that maybe you have so much, so you don't want to do the job. It is not so. Because I believe that I should be able to satisfy my client so that my client can come back. You made a statement that I go to people's wedding and I dance. Why do I dance? I dance because the client is so happy that I have satisfied her because she gave me a design, she paid for me for my services, and I've been able to fulfill all these needs. So that smile on the client's face gives me another inner satisfaction. There are times that we deliver cakes to clients and we are just waiting for the client to come back and say that, excellent, it is what I wanted. The taste is solid. Until the client did not call, my face is like somebody who is in the funeral home waiting for the body to be put in the grave. You are always tensed up. Okay. A lot of Ghanaian entrepreneurs are not truthful. I've learned to be truthful in my line of business, which is a great attitude. I've learned to be honest with myself before I will send the same energy and the same vibe to my clients and my guests. So these are attitudes that Ghanaians or a young entrepreneur should have. Whoever is listening today should always have it at the back of his mind that when you don't have the right attitude towards your job, you will fail as a young entrepreneur. The beautiful thing about me is I love to smile. I love to check up on even when you're not going to buy the cake, tomorrow I'll call you. Even if you didn't buy from me, next time, come to my shop, I'll dash you free cake. I have a marketing strategy that I communicate to my clients. That is an attitude. When even the client says, oh, you are too expensive, so don't worry. God will let you get plenty money. When you come back, I will do a very beautiful cake for you. In this case, I have won the client's hearts. The relationship is more important. There are some clients I've done their wedding 6 years ago. And trust you me, we are still in contact. They call me, they invite me for dinner. When they have their first child, I was there. There are some clients that they didn't even book me to do their wedding cake. I ended up going to their wedding to even help the cake maker who brought that wedding cake to sell that cake. And we ended up becoming friends. It doesn't mean that when you lose a client, you are enemies. It doesn't mean that when you lose a client and you see the client tomorrow, you shouldn't call the client. It is the relationship and the rapport that makes that client go back. At times, it is that to do the marketing for them. So you did a bride's wedding and she recommended you or he recommended you. You did this person's birthday cake. He recommended you. This person said you couldn't do his wedding cake, but he wanted you to do the cake because he wants me to come to the wedding because when I come, I'll come and dance. You get it? So it is attitude. When you don't have the right attitude towards your work, you'll be getting the money, but people will buy, they will not come back. That's why you see a lot of friends, they started very well, but at the end of the day, they dropped because they are allowing money to settle in. They are allowing the kind of people they are meeting as they are journeying towards the path of entrepreneurship, influence their style of talking. So instead of them being humble towards you, they start talking to you anyhow because now they start seeing money. So these are some of the tricks that helped Francisco, as the founder of Cake Element, to get to where I am today.
That's very interesting. Truthfulness and honesty, coupled with good marketing strategy, has been the pillars that is actually, that's their attitude when it comes to business, and that's very good. I recently saw something on people's status and then on Instagram, and I started asking, what is this? Who did this? So some few days ago, I was with my wife, and then we were talking, and looking at the status, and it was your Instagram page, and
Yeah. Yeah.
then I saw something, Orgasm Cake. I said, so it was Francis who did it. Francisco who did this. So tell us about Orgasm Cake. Why that idea of Orgasm Cake, Francesco?
All right. So the idea of the orgasm cake came in when we went on our lockdown in Ghana during the COVID time. And I'm a man of crazy ideas. I love to come up with ideas that can relate to people can talk about. And I'm a very good communicator too as well. So I sat down during the first 3 days of lockdown because I was then preparing towards my wedding. So my wife and I were chatting. Then I was telling my wife that, hey, so those who, when their husbands get up, they go to work and their wives sleep. By the time they come back, the kids are asleep. So they only have the opportunity to see their dad probably on a Saturday or on a Sunday. So between two couples, there is always a miscommunication, or there's not always the time for them to spend good quality time. So I did a bit of research and I realized that a lot of women like chocolate, and chocolate adds a bit of libido to their sexual life or whatever they do. So I said, okay, what can I bring on board so that aside the birthday cakes and the wedding cakes, we need to have a product that every day somebody should be able to walk into our shop and say, I want to buy a cake, but I don't want a big cake. Okay, we have this small cake in a bowl, and this is the name for it. It is a chocolate cake, but this is the name we've given. So I placed it on my status and I said, okay, I'm coming up with a name. These are the names that is coming. Cake orgasm, orgasm cake, chocolate orgasm. So I placed it in the public domain. And surprisingly, Mr. Augustus, take it. Surprisingly, the rate at which my status was being attended to within the first 15 to 45 minutes, I replied more than 200 people on my status. More than 200 people, meaning that my contacts, which I had more than 200 contacts, I replied more than 200 people on my WhatsApp status.
Wow.
And Instagram, I had approximately about 120, about 87.
Wow.
And out of all this, everybody chose Orgasm Cake as the brand name. So questions started coming as you were asking me, why Orgasm? Why Orgasm Cake? Because I realized that most couples spend a lot of money during vows day. Some of them also spend a lot of money during birthdays. Some in a rush, they've forgotten that it's their spouse's birthday or wedding anniversary. Going to a bakery shop to queue for a long time before you get a cake done. And maybe you want to deliver the cake at maybe 12. The cake will be ready at 4. So at the end of the day, what happens? You get it. So quickly, I said, okay, what can I do to make cake very easy to access and very easy to enjoy? So we came up with the orgasm cake. That is where I came up with the chocolate orgasm cake with a touch of strawberry glaze, and a touch of Baileys. And the first 50 pieces I did during the lockdown, within 2 to 4 days, all the 50 pieces got finished. And the feedbacks we had was that it is a very good cake. They like the name, and it is even helping their relationship in the sense that I realized that women think, I don't want to be a bit hypocrite. I want to be real here. I want our Catholic faithful to know that a lot of people are.
It's not only for Catholics, it's for everyone. This show is
for everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone, thank you. The Christian faith, the Islamic faith, and everything. We are in marriage, but we are in pretense in the sense that when you are married, you are at liberty to be naughty to the highest level. You shouldn't be scared to use certain words when you are with your partner. You should be open. You should be a bit vulgar. Let me use that word, a bit vulgar, because the challenges of marriage, it is not only when you are 50 years in marriage before you think that you can advise a young guy who is entering into marriage. We should be able to tell them that, listen, when you are not naughty, your partner will go out there, the slave queens and the young girls will be naughty with your husband, and they will end up winning your husband. The young guys who are also desperate to make quick money will also go and flirt with your wife, and they will end up taking your wife away from you. And the orgasm cake play a lot of role psychologically. Why orgasm? A man doesn't give a woman orgasm. A woman gives herself orgasm.
How?
There is no way. Oh yes, a man gives a top up for the woman to get to that pinnacle, but for a woman to get to that stage, for her to get orgasm, it is her. She has to allow herself to get to that stage. If you don't allow yourself to get to that stage, then it means that you are a failure. You have failed your partner. It is like you are playing romance, and at that moment you are feeling honey. You want to come, then you end up pushing it back because you want to enjoy it more. The more you allow yourself to get orgasm, that is where your partner appreciates himself that he has done a good job. At times, women prefer a man being on top of them for about 4 or 5 hours. You are killing the man. That's why a lot of men are getting stroke. Do you get it? But when you allow your partner to have a lot of sex, multiple sex, continuous sex, you get the orgasm that you. So instead of you to go and watch, excuse me to say, porn, buy the orgasm cake, eat it whilst you are watching a movie in the house. You can smell it on your body, you know, be a little playful like the kids who are playing in the mud, because the orgasm cake is brown. Mud has that brown nature. So when you're able to have that play with your partner, trust me, you will enjoy your partner, you will cast your mind back, you have a very sweet conversations. Oh, you remember when we were kids, we used to put our hand in the mud and do this, then you spray it on his face. Okay, come and kiss it here, come and lick it. Then you realize that your relationship grows. You find a new dynamic, a new way of building a very solid marriage life with your partner. And guess what? We had about 6, let me say 7 of our clients who are married, who bought the orgasm cake during the lockdown. And they told us that the name alone has added a certain appetite.
Wow.
I'm using the word appetite because I'm dealing with food. It has added a little bit of appetite to their marriage, in the sense that they always felt that we should do a birthday, anniversary. We need to go to the movie house. We need to go to the cinemas and the rest before we can sort of travel to Dubai. They have been able to buy this. And every Friday, it has become a norm. Every Friday, when the husband is in, let's say, Sunyani, and the woman is going, she buys orgasm cake and go to Sunyani. When the man is in Accra and he knows that this Friday and Saturday I'll be home, they buy the orgasm cake. They are home. And they enjoy. There's a medical doctor in Kolibu. For her, every Friday, she buys like 6. He says, it is giving me reason why I should go back to that childish play with my partner. And they enjoy. The husband has promised several. Listen, when my wife comes, instead of the 6, you reduce it to 3 because she's spoiling me. And they are enjoying it. Yes, they are enjoying it. Not only them, I have a few people who are about 2 years. I'm not saying my cake gives you the ability to get pregnant, but for about 3 years, they were not having kids. And during the lockdown, they started enjoying the orgasm cake and they started playing with it, and it became a norm. And the woman told me that she didn't know that as a woman, I need to allow myself to get to that stage where I should come. Because having sex is like making love. So when you're making love with your partner, you need to give in all. If you don't give in all, your partner cannot enjoy. You can equally not enjoy your partner. You can equally not enjoy your partner. You get it? So
yeah.
That is how come the name came about. Yeah. And the orgasm cake has brought a lot of smiles on the Ghanaian youth who is aspiring to go into marriage, the Ghanaian or the foreigner who walks into our shop, who is a married man or a married woman. It has given them a smile. When people walk into our shop and they look at the day, they're like, really? A cake called orgasm cake? Why the orgasm cake? And the same explanation I've given to you is what I get. And it's okay, let me go and try it. There are people who are not chocolate fans, but they end up eating it and they're like, listen, it is less sugar, they like it is very moist, and it makes them enjoy the cake very well. And this is what we have been able to do till now.
Thank you so much, Francesco,
Yes.
Kofi, for that wonderful
And don't
insight
forget,
into.
we have other products too. Some
Yeah,
are
yeah, of
called
course. Yeah, that was what
Pettinger,
I'm coming. So
Office Romance.
if you can mention some of your products, and then we would
All right.
I would love to
So we have Office Romance, and I'll tell you what I mean by Office Romance. They are, before you start kissing your partner, you start doing, you play romance. So I named the cake Office Romance. They have a cake for Pettinger. When you are kissing and you are doing all those things, there's something that kicks you. So it's called Pettinger. And Pettinger is a traditional game that we used to play
Yeah.
in the 80s and the 90s,
With the sun,
where
and then
you
you put
play
you
and
put
then
the
put a
pen with the
pen, then
stick
you
in
do
it.
the thing.
Oh my
Very good,
god! Oh my
very good.
god!
So then we came up with another one called number 9. Recently, we introduced the number 9,
Which
and we
is
named it
which
number
is
9,
which is
which
for
is
the
a red velvet
FS.
airways, which is a red velvet cake with a salted caramel in it. It's very moist, and red velvet is red. And in Ghana, there are some names that are attributed to a lot of things, and there are some names that when you mention, people smile. Both internationally, when you mention number 9, any Ghanaian who lives in any part of the women, they say, "Hey, they know what number 9 is." So I named the cake number 9 because I wanted people to relate it to. I wanted our product to be Ghanaian, not necessarily just a cake, but it should have something to do with the Ghanaian society that you can easily relate to it and so that, listen, this is our Ghanaian product. This is something that when it comes international, you want to walk into a shop and say, listen, I'm going to buy number 9. I'm going to buy Pettinger. I'm going to buy Orgasm Cake. I'm going to buy Official because it is a product which has been coined by a Ghanaian and it is baked and produced by a Ghanaian. So those are the products that we have.
Thank you so much. So I remember this it is a very interesting thing, and I'm hoping that one day I would have to taste all these and see the outcome of it, so that I also give my testimony to that. But I would want to find out. So averagely, how much do you charge? If you can give us the price for the Office Romance, the Pettinger, the Orgasm Cake, how
Number
much?
9 and the rest.
Yeah.
Okay, first, we used to have them in different prices. So when Cake Element turned 6 years, then I told my team and I discussed with my wife that now she's a partner in the business. So I told my wife that this is the decision I want to take. So I need her endorsement. So we decided to sell each of the product 80 cedis. So a bowl is 80 cedis. So that even if you have for one is 80. No, one is 80 cedis.
One.
Yeah, each of the product, So Orgasm Cake is 80, Office Romance is 80, number 9 is 80, Pettinger is 80. Okay. So that if you want to buy, you will call the shop and all the birthday cakes are gone. And you want to buy something for your partner or a friend. You can buy all these 4 products, 80, 80, 80. So you're giving your partner a variety so that the person can eat the cake and enjoy it. And the beautiful thing is that it can be in fridge for as many years as you want. It will still keep its moistness. The taste doesn't change. It's still unique. And as many years as you want, 50 years, 20 years. So far it's in the deep freezer, the cake is still solid. And when you can bring it in the next 5 minutes, you are easy to start digesting it and enjoying it.
Thank you so much, Francis. And averagely, wedding cakes, birthday cakes, how much do you charge? The average price?
Averagely, when it comes to wedding cakes, it depends on the design of the person. We have some which are 4,500. We have some which are 4,800. We have some that goes into the 10,000, depending on what you want. But standard prices here, we have between 4,500 to 5,000 for a 3-tier. The more you are climbing the steps, I'm using the word steps because if I use the terminologies, they might not understand. The tiers and the rest, the prices change. So basically, it depends on what the person wants. And it also depends on where the wedding is taking place. If the wedding is taking place outside Accra, it's either you book for a flight, we come to the cake, or I drive, you pay for my fuel, you book a hotel for me, you pay for my insurance, my travel insurance, in case there are any accidents or anything on the road, you pay for all this. And we've had a couple of clients who have patronized our products. We've done weddings outside the country, Panama, done some other places. So let me just say, it is one of the beautiful things that we are doing, and we are changing lives. And our main aim is to put smile on our find space. And that is what we have been doing.
Thank you so much, Francesco Kofi, for that wonderful insight into a creative idea. Orgasm Cake, putting number 9 and office romance, and your wedding cakes and stuff like that. In fact, I have a testimony to that. You did my wedding cake as well. So thank you so much for that. And
You're welcome, my brother.
And this interview, one thing I picked from is that truthfulness and honesty. Truthfulness and honesty. And in fact, I'm happy with your submission that some entrepreneurs in Ghana or in Africa, or let's say even the world, are not faithful.
Yeah.
People use lies to make sure that they sell their business, and we hardly sometimes find out. It's very difficult to actually tell who is telling the truth nowadays, because lies now has turned into truth, and truth rather is being turned into lies. The program is Conversation with Augustus, and today we'll be talking about entrepreneurship, and we've been having this wonderful chat with my dear good friend and brother, Francesco Kofi, the founder of Cake Elements. And in fact, he's opening our minds to a lot of things that we should start thinking about. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, the attitude you need, the kind of attitude you need, truthfulness and honesty, is very, very crucial to that. And before we take leave of you, kindly subscribe to our channel, Conversation with Augustus. Click on the bell beside the subscribe button, and so that whenever we post new videos, you may have access to it. Secondly, also, the program comes to you every Wednesday at 18:15 GMT on our YouTube channel, Conversation with Augustus, also on our radio station, www.radioangelus.com. And last of all, before we go, a priest in the Catholic Archdiocese of Accra is in need of a kidney. And if you know anyone, or if you are ready to donate your kidney, one of your kidneys, please contact this number. Also, we are also in need of blood type O and then blood type A. If you can help, please call this number, +233 5451 89905, +233 5451 89905. If you are living outside Ghana. And if you are in Ghana, the number to call is 054 51 89905. The number is 054 51 89905. And the owner of this number is Very Reverend Father Raymond Osei-Tutu, the Chancellor for the Catholic Archdiocese of Accra. Call him and tell him that you want to help. If you want to give a blood, A or O, or if you want to donate one of your kidney, he would be happy to receive your call. My name is Augustus Akis, and thank you so much for watching the program. Please subscribe and please share this video with your friend. Today we'll be talking about something interesting, Orgasm Cake. Thank you so much, Francis. And my regards to your wife. The program has been Conversation with Augustus. Adios. Sometimes statement may not be clear, but there is always a deeper understanding. It is not just about the who said what. The whens, hows, and wheres are equally important. Join me on a whole new journey in the Conversation with Augustus as I bring you discussions from religion to politics, health to economy, humanity to social activities, among many others. Conversation with Augustus knows no foreign borders. The show comes to you every Wednesday at 6:15 p.m. GMT on our YouTube channel, Conversation with Augustus, and on Radio Angelus, www.radioangelus.com. This program was sponsored by Safe Life Experience Consult Limited. Contact them for all your travel and tour needs, as well as your events.